Hi guys, I'm Hamish Gorman from Eurobadai Health and Fitness, and today I'm going to take you through a few of my favourite stretches for running and cycling. These ones are really good to do prior to a workout, or if you get home and you're feeling a little bit stiff and sore afterwards. We're going to work everything from the ankles up to the shoulders. So watch along, see what you think, and then try them out for yourselves. The first stretch we're going to use, or we're going to do, is we're going to use a band or a strap. Now you can definitely use a belt or a towel for this, but I do find if you've got an exercise band at home that's got a little bit of stretch or a little bit of give into it, that's really good as well. So we're going to come down onto the ground, and I'm going to lie down onto my back, putting the band around my leg, having my other leg out straight. Now the band helps you to relax your neck and your shoulders, but to get a really nice hamstring stretch right down the back of the leg. So we're gently pulling the foot back up towards our body, keeping our leg nice and straight for this one, and holding for a few seconds at a time, even up to a minute if you've got the time available. Coming back down and coming all the way back up and getting a really good hold. So if you haven't done this one before, I'd suggest about 10 to 15 seconds at a time and doing it 3 to 4 times each leg. Switching over and working your way through. You'll generally find that the more pressure you put on your toes and the harder you pull it back, the more you'll feel that stretch as well. Sometimes you'll feel the stretch a little bit in the calf, and some other people will feel it a little bit in the hamstring. Either is totally fine for this stretch. Relax back down and come on up as high as you're comfortable. I think the key thing for this stretch is to make sure that you keep your upper body nice and relaxed as you do it. You're not trying to force it, and you shouldn't feel your neck and shoulders becoming stiff. The second stretch we're going to do is quite similar. We're going to put the band around the back of the knee, keeping the knee above the hip, and we're just going to gently kick the heel towards the ceiling. So this one I just call a hamstring kick. Now we're not holding this one at the top for any length of time, but we're gently working our way up and down through the stretch. Generally doing about 10 repetitions each side and then switching over. Again, the band really helps to allow you to keep your shoulders and your head flat on the floor, and just to keep your head and your shoulders and neck relaxed. About 10 each side is a good number. So the third stretch that we're going to do that targets the back of the legs is going to be our calf stretch. So for our calf stretch, you can do this 2 ways. You can do it standing, leaning against a wall, or for a little bit more stretch, you can come down onto the floor and you can put one toe on the ground and gently press your heel back down into the floor. Toe on the ground, gently press your heel back down into the floor. Your other leg can just rest on the top there. And you should get a nice stretch right down the back of the calf muscle below the knee with this one. Switching it over. And again, nice stretch down the calf muscle, which in particular for runners rather than cyclists is really important. Probably about 15 to 30 seconds each side for this stretch, and doing 2 to 3 times. Now we're going to ease back up. So we've got the calf, the ham and the hamstring, so we've really done the back of the leg quite well there. Now we're going to come across and we're going to do the front of the leg, the quadricep and the hip flexor, and we're going to do a kneeling hip flexor stretch. So we're going to come into a kneeling or a lunge-like position, knee underneath the hip, which is underneath the shoulder, and then you're gently just pushing the hips forward and opening the front of the hip to get a nice stretch through there. So it's that push the hip forward, open the hips, and if you'd like to raise that arm and stretch up over, then you definitely can as well. Just open up that position and get a little bit more of a stretch as you go through. Show you the other side. Come into this kneeling position, push the hips forward and reach up and over. Really nice stretch. And this one in particular for cyclists, if you're in a bent over position, really works to open your back up and can feel like a really nice stretch to do as well. Again, 15 to 30 seconds, 2 to 3 times each side will help you feel good. So, we've got back of the legs, front of the legs. Now I just want to add one more, because we're really going through the key stretches today rather than trying to cover every base. I would really like an upper body rotation, really to get this part of our spine between our belly button and our shoulders to rotate and to move really well. You can do this one 2 ways, but I prefer lying down. We come into a lying down position, we're lying on our side, hands out in front of our body, and we're going to pull one arm back over the top and take our back arm down towards the ground. Reaching forward, pulling back with our shoulder, keeping our hips nice and steady and opening our chest towards the ceiling. Reaching back through and back across. Again, this is more of a dynamic stretch. So you're working through the range of motion rather than pausing and holding for too long at the end. 3 to 5 seconds at the end, do it 5 to 6 times and you should feel great. So, calf stretch, straight leg hamstring stretch, hamstring kick, kneeling hip flexor stretch, and our thoracic rotation stretch should get you feeling really good. And they're really nice stretches to get you going if you aren't doing any at the moment for your running or your cycling. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Bye.